Good morning, boys and girls. It's Miss Angie. I hope everybody is doing well and enjoying this pretty day. This morning, as I sit in the Sunday school classroom, I sure miss you guys, and I'm hoping I can see you soon, and I hope you're all doing really well with school and studying hard and being good. And that's one thing we're going to kind of talk a little bit about today, is some ways that we can please Jesus. And one thing, and before I read you the story, what we're going to talk about today is do to others what you would have them do to you. And that's in the book of Mathew, chapter 7, verse 12. And as we've always talked about, we know that this is a good thing, and we know that it's true because if it comes from the book of Matthew, we know that it comes from what? The Bible. That's exactly right. B-I-B-L-E, the Bible. And we know that anything that's in the Bible is true because it's the word of who? I know you know this. God. G-O-D. And we know also that the Bible is divided into two parts. Remember, there's an Old Testament and there's a New Testament. And we know what the difference is too, don't we? Because in the Old Testament, who wasn't born? And who was alive in the New Testament? That's right, Jesus. So we know that if we're reading from the New Testament, that Jesus was alive. And I know that if Olivia was here, she would do the Jesus puzzle with me. So I look forward to seeing that, or seeing you, Olivia, so that we can do that together. But right now, I've got a book for you that we were going to talk about, do to others what you would have them do to you. And that's what's called the Golden Rule. And it's the Golden Rule in the Bible too. And we know that the Bible is full of rules where Jesus and God tell us what we can do to please them. And this is one of them. So let's talk about what we can do and maybe read this book. This book is about the Berenstain Bears. I read this book when I was a little girl. So guys, that tells you how old this book is. But I think you'll still like it because it's talking about what we need to do, and we needed to do it when I was a little girl and when you're children too. So let's see what they are. Before we start the book, I'm going to tell you who some of the characters are. This is Mama Bear. This is Papa Bear. This is Honey Bear. This is Brother Bear. And this is Sister Bear. This particular book is about Sister Bear and where she learns about the Golden Rule. There's some other characters in the book too. We're going to learn about Susie McGriddle. She is somebody that Sister Bear's going to meet. And then we're also going to learn about Queenie McBear. This is Queenie McBear. And Queenie doesn't quite do things the way she should. And Sister learns about that because maybe Queenie Bear wasn't so nice to Sister Bear at one time. So let's see what it's about. Here they are on the school bus. There's Sister Bear, there's Brother Bear, and remember Susie McGrizzle. So it's Sister's birthday. When Sister Bear received a beautiful golden locket for her birthday, she was surprised and pleased. It was shaped like a heart, and it had her name on it. "Happy birthday, dear," said Mama and Papa Bear, giving her a big hug. Now, a locket is like a necklace, but it's a special necklace because there's something very special about a locket, but we'll find out what that is. Sister tried the locket on and looked at herself in the mirror. "I love it," she said. "I'm going to wear this all the time." "It opens up," said Papa. "Look." He showed her the little golden clasp that you pressed to pop the locket open. "Neat," said Sister. "So there's something inside the locket. That's what makes it a special necklace. Let's see what's inside this one." Sister looked inside, expecting to find, I don't know, maybe a little picture or a mirror or something like that. But all she could see inside the locket were a few simple words. Guess what the words are, guys? Do to others what you would have them do to you. So this book is going to kind of tell us what that means and how we can do that. Sister was puzzled. The word seemed familiar, but she wasn't sure why. "What's this?" she asked. "It's the golden rule," explained Mama Bear. "What's that?" Sister wondered. Mama's eyes widened. "The golden rule is one of the most important rules there is," she explained. "That's why we always have had it hanging up on the wall of our living room." She pointed to the framed sampler above their mantelpiece. That's why Sister remembered it, because she'd seen it before. She'd seen it over the fireplace. Mama Bear thought it was so important that they needed to keep it in their home. Sister gazed up at it in amazement. She couldn't believe it. No wonder the word seemed familiar. "Oh," she said, a little embarrassed. "I never really thought about what it said before. What does it mean?" "The golden rule," Papa explains, "tells you to treat other people the way you want to be treated yourself." "Well, why is it inside my locket?" she wondered. "It's a golden rule inside a golden locket for a little golden princess," said Papa, giving her a big kiss. I bet that made Sister feel very special. "It's called the golden rule," explained Mama patiently, "because it's precious, just like gold. But it's not about the gold you wear around your neck or on your finger." She held it out to show Sister. "It's about the golden treasure we keep inside our own hearts. The heart shape of the locket is meant to remind you of that." So this is something, guys, that we need to keep inside our heart, and we need to think about it a lot. Sister thought it over. She didn't really get it, but that was okay. She loved that new locket anyway. Let's see what Sister's going to learn. The next day before school, Sister showed off her new treasure to her friends Lizzie, Millie, Anna, and Linda. They oohed and awed over it in a very satisfying way. Sister liked that, don't you think? "What's all this fuss about?" said a voice. Remember I told you about Queenie McBear? Well, this is Queenie McBear and her crowd, the In Gang. It was Queenie McBear and her gang. Queenie was older than Sister and a little snooty. Snooty means not very nice, not the way that we want to be. When Queenie first came to the neighborhood, she and Sister did not get along at all. Queenie made fun of her and got Sister's friends to join in. That was Sister's first experience with an in crowd, a group that makes itself feel big by making others feel small. Kind of like a bully, like we've talked about before, guys. You know, we don't want to be like Queenie. We'll see what Sister's going to learn from this, because Sister needs to remember that Queenie used to be mean to her, so she doesn't want to do that to anyone else, right? "Oh, hi, Queenie," said Sister. "I was just showing the kids my new locket." Over the years, Sister learned to get along with Queenie, but they were never the best of friends. "Let me see it," said Queenie. She looked the locket over. Queenie was not impressed. You see, Queenie's got on a bunch of necklaces anyway. She wasn't very impressed. She herself wore big hoop earrings, I guess kind of like me, and lots of beads and chains. "Cute, was all she said as she walked away with her friends. Queenie still had her own in crowd. They were a group of the older girls who liked hanging out together and acting cool. Meaning not acting very nice, if you ask me. Mostly they spent their time painting their nails and giggling about boys. That was okay with Sister. She had her own group of friends to hang out with, but it never occurred to her that this might be any kind of problem until a new girl came to school. See the new girl? That's Susie McGrizzle. Her name was Susie McGrizzle. It seemed like a funny sort of name. For one thing, it had a lot of Z's in it. The new girl herself seemed a little funny too. Just because she's different doesn't make her someone you shouldn't be kind to, does it? Her clothes weren't exactly cool, and she wore her hair up in pigtails, which was definitely not the way the other girls did their hair in Bear Country School. Besides, she had thick glasses and braces, not the cool kind with lots of different colors like Millie wore, just plain old braces. They're not really talking very nice about Susie, are they? Let's see what Sister learns. On her first day, of course, the new girl didn't know anyone at all. At recess, Sister noticed her standing off by herself in a corner of the playground. She looked kind of sad and lonely. Sister was thinking about going over and introducing herself when Lizzie and Anna came up. So maybe Sister was remembering how she felt with Queenie, do you think? And she was thinking, maybe I should go over and talk to her. But she got busy. Lizzie and Anna came up, so she went and played with them. Hiya, Sister, said Lizzie. We're getting together a game of hopscotch. Millie and Linda are over there. Come on. Oh, and there's Susie standing by herself. But Sister looks back. She's kind of thinking about it, isn't she? Wait a minute, said Sister. Sister began to follow them, but she paused and glanced back to where the new girl was standing all by herself. Susie looked lonelier than ever. Sister remembers she felt that way. Wait a minute, said Sister. What about that new girl? What's her name? That one over there. Maybe we should invite her to join in. She looks pretty lost and lonely. Let's see what Sister's friends will say about this. The other girls were surprised. Susie Woozy Face, said Lizzie doubtfully. She has weird clothes, said Anna. And those corny pigtails, said Lizzie. Not to mention those clunky glasses and braces, added Anna. Well, said Sister discouraged, I just thought. Sister's friends weren't being very nice, were they? But Sister's still thinking about it. Don't you think in the back of her mind, she's remembering what that sign said and she's thinking, now if that was me, how would I want to be treated? Let's see what Sister does. Oh, don't worry about old Susie McWoozy, said Lizzie, taking Sister's arm. See, they're already calling her a funny name and making fun of her. She'll be fine. She'll find some other clubs to play with. Cubs more her type. Come on. Sister was thinking about it, but she still followed them. Sister allowed herself to be led away to the hopscotch game. She felt a little worried about Susie McWoozy, though. She couldn't exactly say why, but she soon forgot all about it when her friends started playing hopscotch. Later, when school let out, Sister got in line for her school bus. She noticed that the new girl was standing right in front of her. There's Susie right there. She was going to say hi, but then again somebody disturbed her. She was going to say hi, but then Lizzie came up behind her and they started to talk. And what did Sister do? She forgot all about poor Susie. They went on talking as they got on the bus. Susie McGrizzy sat right behind them. See her right here? And here's Sister, and she's talking with Lizzie. Sister and Lizzie went right on talking together, and they didn't talk to Susie. Sister played with her new locket as she talked, twirling it around and around in the air. When the bus came to her stop, Sister gathered up her things to get off, but she felt a soft tug at the back of her arm. It was Susie McGrizzy. She was holding something out to Sister. Look, see what she has? I think it looks like the locket, don't you? I bet when Sister was sitting there twirling it around, I bet it dropped. And that nice new girl, Susie, picked it up and gave it to Sister. Here, she said shyly, you dropped this. It was Sister's new locket. Gee, said Sister, thanks. It was all she could think of to say. Sister climbed off the bus and watched as it pulled away. She could see Susie looking back at her from the window. Sister hung her locket around her neck. What if Susie hadn't noticed her drop it? It might have been gone for good. Mama was waiting for Sister as she climbed the front steps. How was school today, dear? Said Mama. Oh, okay, I guess, sighed Sister, dumping her school bag on the armchair in the living room. She glanced up at the framed sampler of the golden rule over the mantel. Somehow the golden locket hanging around her neck felt heavier than before. I think Sister might be thinking about poor Susie and how she wasn't as nice to her as she could have been. Don't you? That evening at dinner, Sister was unusually quiet. She picked at her lima beans and stared off into space. A penny for your thoughts, said Papa as he fed Honey Bear. Huh? Said Sister, looking up. Oh, I was just thinking about that golden rule inside my locket, she explained. I don't really get it. What's it supposed to mean? Sister's still thinking hard about it and still not sure what it means. Well, began Mama, let me give you an example. Mamas know stuff, don't they? She's going to bring it up. Do you remember that trouble you had when Queenie first moved to town? Sister perked up and paid attention. She remembered it all too well. Sister's remembering how Queenie wasn't nice to her and didn't include her and made fun of her, kind of like what happened to Susie. Do you remember how Queenie started an in crowd but kept you out and made fun of your clothes and your hair bow? Mama asked. Do you remember how badly and how sad you felt? Boy, did she ever. Sister started to feel hurt just thinking about it. Her lower lip began to quiver and a tear came to her eye. All the golden rule is saying, Papa continued, is that you shouldn't turn around and do that same sort of thing to someone else. Oh, goodness. I bet Sister's thinking about Susie. He paused to scrape some mashed potatoes off Honey's chin. You should always treat other people the way you would like to be treated yourself. Look at Sister. She's thinking hard about that. But I would never do anything like that, said Sister. Besides, I don't have an in crowd. Oh, no, said Brother, who had been taking all this in. What about Lizzie and Anna and Millie and Linda? You play with them all the time, but I never see you asking anyone else to join in. Well, that's different, protested Sister angrily. I'm just playing with my friends. We're not trying to keep anybody out. Of course not, dear, soothed Mama. I'm sure you and your friends would never dream of keeping other cubs out of your group. But they did, didn't they? See them playing and then see poor Susie in the background all by herself? Sister Bear grew very quiet. Now that she thought it over, she wasn't quite so sure. Not so sure at all. The next day at recess, as soon as Sister came outside, she looked around the playground for guess who? Susie McGrizzy. She soon spotted her. Can you find her? See right here? Is she playing with the other children? No, she's not. She spotted her sitting off by herself under the big oak tree at the edge of the schoolyard and reading a book. Now, I like this picture because it shows lots of kids being nice and playing with each other. But there's one spot in here where someone is not doing something very nice. Can you see it? These little girls are playing jump rope. They're playing hopscotch. They're playing football back there. These little children are swinging. But look right there. Look at that kid smacking that kid with that ball. That wasn't very nice, was it? That's not a good example. Do you think that kid would want him to bounce that ball on his back like that? I don't think so either. That's an example of he should do unto him what he wants him to do unto him, and he doesn't want him to hit him with the ball, right? So let's see what's going to happen with Susie. Sister marched right up to her. "Hello, Susie," she said brightly. Susie looked up in surprise. "Hello," she said shyly. Don't you think she might have been kind of scared and wondered what was going to happen? Sister Bear said, "I'm Sister Bear, and my friends and I are going to play some hopscotch," Sister told her. "Would you like to join us?" Susie's face lit up. "Oh, I'd love to," she said with a big bracy grin. "I love hopscotch." "Terrific," said Sister. "Do you want to see my locket?" "Sure," said Susie. "Okay," said Sister. "Come on, I'll show it to you. Over there." Sister took off and Susie chased after her, laughing across the playground to the hopscotch square where Lizzie, Millie, Anna, and Linda were waiting. Look how happy Susie looks now. Do you think that was a good thing Sister did? I do too. Sister's golden locket gleamed in the sun as she ran. Don't you think Sister's happy now? And don't you know that Susie's happy? Because you know what Sister did? She did to others what she would have wanted them to do to her. And what did she do? She made Susie feel welcome. She asked her to play with them, and she didn't act snooty like Queenie McBear. So that's our lesson for today, guys. And I want you to think about it. And when we come back to Sunday school, let's all talk about ways we can do nice things for other people like we would want them to do for us. Like, for example, if your room is a mess and your mom and your dad are tired, what's something that you could do that would make them feel good? You could clean up your room. Or what if your mom or dad come in and they're tired? Or what if your brothers or your sisters are not feeling so well? What could you do? You could be nice to them. You could give them a hug. You could ask them to play. You could read a book with them. There are all kinds of nice things that you could do. And who would that please? That would please Jesus. Because guess who is the person that said this? Jesus was the one that said it. And if Jesus said it, it's in the Bible. And if it's in the Bible, we know that it's the truth and we can count on it because God and Jesus love us. And guys, I hope you have a good rest of the day. And let's close in a quick prayer. Let's bow our heads and close our eyes and pray. Dear God, thank you for today. Thank you for being with these wonderful children and help them continue to do well and help their families to continue to do well. Be with them today and the rest of the week and help them to think about what we learned about today and help us all to try to do unto others as we would want people to do unto us. God, we love you and we praise you and we ask for your continued blessing on everyone around us and on our church and on our church members and on our families. In Jesus Christ's name we ask. Amen. Bye.